Hey yo, how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? For the last couple of years now, it feels like we gamers have been receiving games that are still not finished yet, like they're still in the betas. So I decided to do this. I took most of those broken games. Some of them are still broken, some of them were just broken at launch, and I decided to make a tier list. As you can see, there is a collection of video games over here that were released in the last couple of years now. Some of them I played and some of them I didn't. Now let's look at all the levels of this tier list, starting from the very bottom, which is D tier, totally playable. C tier, just a few frame drops, nothing too bad. B tier, might ask for a refund. A tier, a total disaster. And last but not least, S tier, which stands for it's the biggest piece of dog shit. So yeah, let's begin. This should be fun. Let's start with the first one, which is WWE 2K20. I played WWE 2K20 a lot when it came out. I think I have over 100 hours on the game, and I gotta say, this is without a shadow of a doubt one of the worst WWE games of all time. This game was filled with bugs. It would crash non-stop. It didn't matter if you was creating a character, playing a match, doing the career mode. This game would crash. It honestly felt like the game was on a time limit. The time limit would start as soon as you opened the game, and it would have been like maybe 20 minutes before the game just couldn't handle it anymore and just crash on you, no matter what he was doing. The game was awful. And because WWE 2K20 is considered as one of the worst, one of the buggiest WWE games out there, I think it would be my honor to put it on S tier. It is the biggest piece of dog shit. Next up is one of my favorites, Cyberpunk 2077. I personally never played Cyberpunk. It's just not my kind of game to play. In general, I was never hyped for it. But when this game came out, I saw infinite amount of videos about this game and its glitches. It doesn't matter that this game is now mostly fixed, This game, Cyberpunk 2077, will always go down as having one of the worst launches to ever exist in the gaming industry. And I think this game truly deserved to be up there on S tier. Top S tier. This game was truly the biggest piece of dog shit. But at least it's fine now. Mostly. Next up is Battlefield 2042. This is another game that I didn't get to play and I probably won't play in the future. This game was mostly disappointing for the Battlefield community. But I don't think it deserves an S tier. I think I'm just gonna put it over here on A tier, a total disaster. I don't think it's up there with Cyberbug and WWE 2K20. I don't really want to rank this too high because I don't know much about it, so I'm gonna be fair here. Next up is Grand Theft Auto Trilogy. What the fuck actually happened? This trilogy was terrible. An excuse to grab your money. You know it's bad when the original game from 2004 works way better and more realistically than a remastered version in the 2020s. A 2004 game was more realistic than this piece of shit. Where do I rank this exactly? It's definitely between A and S tier. In my opinion, I think I'm just gonna put it in high A tier. I don't think it was the biggest piece of dog shit, but it's definitely a disaster. Next one in line is gonna be shocking for most of you guys, but it's Elden Ring, one of my favorite games ever. Yes, 2022's Game of the Year is on this tier list. Why exactly? Because unfortunately, even Elden Ring had a rough launch at the beginning, and unfortunately I experienced it myself on the PC. Now Elden Ring's PC version at launch had some massive frame drops at some areas, mostly where you start the game, next to the tree sentinel if you remember. So here comes the dilemma. Do I put Elden Ring on C tier, just a few frame drops? Or should I put it on D, totally playable? Because I want to rank these games at their worst possible state, which is the launch, I guess I'm gonna have to put Elden Ring on C tier. Just a few frame drops. It's not that bad, but I just want to make sure this tier list is gonna be fair. This also just shows that even a Game of the Year can have its issues, okay? Next up is Saints Row. Yes! What I do remember is that Saints Row in Cyberpunk had one similar glitch, which of course was the infamous motorcycle glitch, where your character wasn't even on the motorcycle when you was driving on it. I don't know why that happened, but to me it was just funny. Other than that, I don't think Saints Row was that bad, so I think it's only fair if I put it over here on B. Might ask for a refund. Maybe. Next up is the one and only Forspoken. Forspoken did have some minor performance issues, and when I say minor, it did have some frame drops, some crashes reported here and there. I didn't play this game Forspoken, but I did watch gameplay of it, and from what I saw, I think the main problem with Forspoken was, of course, the dialogue. I can't really think of any other game that was ruined just from the dialogue. It's sad because Forspoken definitely had the potential, but eventually it just didn't live up to the hype. Forspoken is definitely not S tier. I don't even think it's an A tier. I think it's just a B tier. That's it. High B, that's it. Might ask for a refund. I don't know. Resident Evil 4 is up next. Okay, I played through Resident Evil 4 multiple times and I had fun. I did have fun, but however, it had the same issues as Elden Ring had, which was quite a few frame drops. I noticed that there was one chapter, chapter 5, I remember correctly. No matter what, every time I played through Resident Evil 4, it was always that chapter that just completely tanked my FPS down. Thankfully, that was all the issues Resident Evil 4 had, and I still got to enjoy the game very much. So, you know, I'm gonna rank it the same as Elden Ring over here. Next up is Hogwarts Legacy. For a long time before this game got released, I didn't know if I was gonna buy it, if I wasn't gonna buy it. I didn't know, I couldn't decide. So what I did, I decided to wait for the game to be released and see what happens. I'm glad I did that, because there was lots of performance issues. However, that doesn't mean it's a bad game. It just had some performance issues. In fact, Hogwarts Legacy is one of the best games 2023 got so far. With that being said, I definitely don't think this game should be an S or A tier, but I do think it deserves to be in the middle, B. Might ask for a refund. Yeah, I think that's fair. Oh boy! Do you want to guess what's next? It's none other than The Last of Us, the PC port. I'm not even gonna hold this off. I'm gonna put it over here on S tier. From getting Game of the Year back in 2013 to it having one of the worst ports, PC ports, of all time. That is mad. If you haven't seen the PC port for this game, you have no idea what went down when this game got released to PC. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna show you a video of what happened. Yeah, here it is. This is that scene.
This here is not a bad one. Only one problem. Where did you get that?
You click continue. Yeah, next up is Star Wars Jedi Survival. I was actually planning to play this. I even started playing Jedi Fallen Order or whatever it was. Then Survivor got launched. I saw what went down and I was like, okay, I'm not playing this. If you haven't guessed it already, of course, as always, this game had massive, absolutely huge performance issues at the launch. I don't even know if it's fixed yet. There's a popular video on YouTube of someone with an RTX 4090, the fastest, one of the fastest GPUs in the world right now, running this game, Jedi Survival, on 30 FPS. Even less than that. Like, how does that happen? Why is there no optimization in video games nowadays? What happened to that? The game itself is probably really good, but why does it have to be like that with the performance issues? Like, does the developers not truly test the game before they decide to release it? What's up with that? This is honestly just embarrassing for the developers, because they worked on this video game, on all these video games so hard, and then this happens. I really feel like this game should be an A tier because of its total disaster launch, but because I know it's gonna be a good game, I'm gonna put it here on B tier. Next game in line is Redfall. Redfall pretty much has the same performance issues as Jedi Survivor had. The only difference is this game is just not good. I'm just gonna put it on A tier, a total disaster. And the final game on this list is not other than The Lord of the Rings Gollum. This is a game that you just wish to forget about. When I heard an announcement of a Lord of the Rings game getting released in 2023, I was hyped. Then it was teased that it's going to be a game about Gollum. This is where mostly everybody got disappointed already. I wasn't one of those people. I was like, oh sick, this is still gonna be a Lord of the Rings game, no? Then the game got released, and only then it really hit me of how bad this game is. I think so far when it comes to video games being released in 2023, this game is up there as the most broken game of the year for 2023. The Lord of the Rings Golem is so bad that even IGN gave it a whopping score of 4. In their own words, it's just bad. There is no reason to play this game. This game was released and it felt like it was still in the betas. Not even the betas. In the early alphas. I'm so glad my hype went down for it, so I didn't buy it. Because for a $60 game, it's just disrespectful to ask a gamer for that amount of money to play, what, Gollum? There's actually one good saying about the Lord of the Rings Gollum that perfectly summarizes it. Out of all the Lord of the Rings characters, they made a game about Gollum. Who asked for that? Anyway, I think it's clear where I'm gonna put this one. Perfectly placed on S tier. I'm gonna put it over The Last of Us, but I'm not gonna put it over the launch of Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk launch truly deserves the top of S tier. It was truly the biggest piece of dog shit. And there you go, there's my list of all the broken games at launch from 2020 to 2023 so far. Unfortunately, none really made it to over here to D tier, totally playable, but to be honest, I kinda wanna put Elden Ring and Resident Evil 4 over here, so I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna delete this row, and I'm gonna add this. Just a few frame drops, but totally playable. There you go. I think that's better. So with this being done, I'm gonna end it here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this tier list. Also, let me know your opinion in the comments below. What do you think about video games being released lately? What's up with that? I'm honestly tired of this bullshit of a game getting released and it's totally unplayable at launch, then we have to wait like a month or two until you can actually play it. I think we're all just done with that, right? We just want to play video games without any issues. But anyway, I'm gonna go now. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna catch you all in the next video, and until then, take care guys. Peace.